Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you, depending where you are in the world. We're here in London doing a nighttime devotion. The devotional is called To Be Like Jesus. We had a wonderful Sabbath. Sabbath ends, sunset on Saturday. The devotional is called To Be Like Jesus. The title today, Follow Divine Counsel to Preserve Health. Exodus 18 verses 17 and 18 says, So Moses' father-in-law said to him, The thing that you do is not good. Both you and these people who are with you will surely wear yourselves out, for this thing is too much for you. You are not able to perform it by yourself. When we do all we can on our part to have health, then may we expect that the blessed results will follow, and we can ask God in faith to bless our efforts for the preservation of health. He will then answer our prayer, if his name can be glorified thereby. But let all understand that they have work to do. God will not work in a miraculous manner to preserve the health of persons who are taking a sure course to make themselves sick. A careful conformity to the laws God has implanted in our being will ensure health, and there will not be a breaking down of the constitution. Many have inquired of me, what course shall I take best to preserve my health? My answer is, cease to transgress the laws of your being. Cease to gratify a depraved appetite. Eat simple food. Dress healthfully, which will require modest simplicity. Work healthfully, and you will not be sick. Many are suffering in consequence of the transgression of their parents. They cannot be censured for their parents' sin, but it is nevertheless their duty to ascertain wherein their parents violated the laws of their being, and wherein their parents' habits were wrong. They should change their own course, place themselves by correct habits in a better relation to health. The harmonious, healthy action of all the powers of body and mind results in happiness. The more elevated and refined the powers, the more pure and unalloyed the happiness. An aimless life is a living death. The mind should dwell upon themes relating to our eternal interests. This will be conducive to health and body and mind. God has pledged himself to keep this living machinery in healthful action if the human agent will obey his laws and cooperate with him, God the Father. The Lord has given his people a message in regard to health reform. This light has been shining upon their pathway for many years, and the Lord cannot sustain his servants in a course which will counteract it. The light which God has given upon health reform cannot be trifled with without injury to those who attempt it. And no human being can hope to succeed in the work of God while by precept and example they act in opposition to the light which God has sent. Once again, it's all summed up in the last paragraph. We have the health message of health reform. The light has been shined on our pathway. If you haven't seen it or heard it, you are hearing it now. The Lord will not sustain his servants in a course which will counteract the light of his health reform. The light which God has given upon the health reform cannot be trifled with without injury to you if you don't choose to accept it. And no human being can hope to succeed in the work of God while they act in opposition to the light which God has sent. If you do not listen to this message, preserving your life, your health, by what you eat, what you think, what you drink, what you do, it starts here. It starts here in firstly what you know, what you hear, what you choose to believe or not believe, because by that you make a decision. And that decision you make then determines the course you are taking. Not to say you cannot change the course, because you can. Every moment of your existence, you can make a different decision. But you have to make that decision. You have to do your research. You have to know what you're dealing with, or even if you don't know what you're dealing with, just by faith from what you hear, if you trust someone and believe what someone says, pray about it. Yes, pray about it. But if it seems right, go with it. Because if it's not right, you can change your mind. I'm speaking for the UK. In the UK, it's very rare you will find good meat to buy in the shops. It's rare. Because you don't know where the meats come from. You don't know how the animal was fed, reared. Was it reared healthfully, taking years maybe to grow, months, I don't know how long, weeks? Or is it fed full of antibiotics, steroids, etc., to make it grow quick so they could sell it quick? In which case, when you buy that meat, it's full of all that junk, and you're putting that junk in your body. This is exactly some of the reasons why I gave up eating meat, lamb, beef, chicken, etc. And then by reading Leviticus and what you should not eat in the Bible, this is why I stopped eating shellfish and the likes as well. All the food from the sea, just fish that have scales and fins, and even some of those I don't eat. Do your research. Make a decision make an informed choice. Stop drinking soda or fizzy drinks. Anything Coca-Cola, Pepsi, anything like that is not good. Even their water is not good. Do your research into the companies if you can. Ask questions. Do look online. Everything's online if you really look for it, to give you the information you need as to what you should and should not be drinking. You've really got no excuse. I'm not going to say I'm the best at drinking and eating, but I'm certainly a lot better than I used to be. Have a good night. God bless you.